I'm Andy Durham, and I want to introduce you to RacketStats.com. RacketStats is an app that's user-friendly that allows you to collect information about a player's performance. High school, college, and some professional coaches can use this information as the match is going along. Everybody else has to wait until it's over. You can collect this information just on anybody's smartphone, and it allows anybody to easily put that information in, and that way you can help your friends, help your children to get that valuable information. One of the things that we find is that juniors are quitting tennis at a very rapid rate only because they're really not sure whether they're getting better or not. Now, this is a subject we're going to talk about in the next video. You can always find us on Facebook, YouTube, Pinterest, and Instagram. We were just speaking about how we lose juniors so quickly in tennis. And one of the reasons is that they're not too sure whether they're getting better or not. It's a very hard sport to measure. Unlike other sports where you have a tape measure or stopwatch that shows you immediate improvement, tennis doesn't have such a beast. I worked with Bill Jacobson and CompuTennis at Wimbledon, doing their HBO presentation, and at Kalamazoo. And I also used the system to develop a boy to number 4 in the world. Now, because of the smartphone, we have designed an easy-to-use app for gathering information about players' games in up to 34 different areas. There are 2 modes. There's a beginner and there's an advanced. So let's take a quick look at the beginner mode. Here you go. You've got beginner and advanced mode. We're going to select a beginner, and we've got the match set up in front of us. You have player 1 and player 2. Player 1 in this case is serving, but let's say player 2 is going to serve. So we just tap it. All right. If there is an ace, player 2 is serving an ace, we tap it twice, and immediately player 2 wins the point, and we go to next. Notice the score up here is 1-0. There's a fault on the first serve and a double fault, which would be the minus. We tap it twice, 1, 2. And you have player 1 winning the point. So let's say the player 1 gets his first serve in, and then there's a forehand return. We sit back and wait for the end of the point, and we'll say player 1 wins the point. We don't know how, but we know that player 1 wins the point. And there you go, it's 2-1. Then we have a fault on the first serve, backhand return a serve, and player 1 wins the point. Next, an ace, double fault. There's an ace right there, and that goes there, and you've got, oops, sorry about that. Player 2 wins the point, and it's 3-3. So finally, we have a double fault. So we go fault and double fault. And player 1 wins the point, and the score is 4-3. Now, if we're playing a no-ad system, which a lot of you do, we would end the point right there. We would just end it. End the game. Who won? Player 1. Okay. And you're into the next game. Now it switches serves and you're on your way. Anyway, I hope this has been a help. We're going to take a look next at the advanced. So now let's take a look at the advanced mode. The beginner mode was primarily developed to help beginners learn how to chart, parents, friends, whomever, and get them used to the system. It only produces about 8 statistics, but it does produce accurate statistics. So on that platform, we designed an advanced mode, which we're going to go over now. All right, here's your beginning screen on your smartphone. We go to advanced. Now, these things you can skip, but for instance, you can put the scorer's name, the surface type, the date, and the location if you want it. And then you can add player information. So here's player 1, the initials. You can put their birth date in if you like. the gender, male, female, left or right-handed, and their UTR rating if they've got one. So we do player one, then we can also go down to do player two. Now, as you do these players, their name remains in your database so that you won't have to enter this each time. So we're going to skip we're going to go to scoring details. We don't have a lot of options, but they're adequate. No ad scoring or ad scoring. Best of 3 sets, 5 sets, and of course the tiebreak system. You've got 10 and 7. The starting the match is very easy to see. It's virtually the same screen, except when we're serving now. We have player one and player two, but when they're serving, they can be serving to the deuce or the ad side, either player. And we designed it that way because so many times we miss points for lots of different reasons. And this allows us to just step in. The score is actually very unimportant to the data. The data has to be, in order for it to work, has to be accurate. So if I miss a point here or there, that's not a big deal. As long as we get about 75% of the points in the match, we're very accurate. Now, same screen here, you have aces in play or a fault. And if we click fault, of course, we go to serve two, and it could be an ace or in play. Now, in this case, we say it's a forehand return. And then we scroll down, and it's either a winner, in play, or an error. And then at the end, instead of just saying player one wins, let's say that player one hits a forehand, and then we go down and give a choice: ground strokes, volleys, smashes, lobs, approach shots, passing shots, for a winner or an error. In this case, we'll say it's a ground stroke and it's a winner. Again, player one wins the point. That's just your confirmation. Oh, if we made a mistake, we can always undo it and go back and say, well, maybe it was a forehand volley for a winner. And that makes sure that we get credit for going to the net. We do this over and over again for the match. And that's just a brief look at the advanced schedule. We're going to take a look at statistics next, the statistics part of this app. So now let's take a look at statistics. We'll go to our welcome screen, and on the bottom left, it says stats. We'll tap that. Now there's a view here that allows you to see any of the matches that you have done. That's why it's important for you to get as many matches here on an individual as possible. Let's pick here, we'll go take a look at this match. Now it's between two college ladies, and the next category, we can actually use a database check on them. We'll compare all their statistics to the college women. At the very top, we have second serve points won, et cetera, and we go down. Now we'll first of all start with the serve statistics, and I'll just go down, scroll here. You can decide what's important for each of your students and how well they're doing on the deuce and the ad court. And there's return to serve statistics. So again, we're talking about the return to serve, the first serve, both deuce and ad, second serve, both deuce and ad. Then we have ground strokes, which are pretty straightforward. We have forehands, backhands, all the ground strokes, which includes approach shots, and that the percentage of backcourt points won, which can help you encourage those of who are a little hesitant about going to the net to go to the net more often. And here we have the nets points, forehands and backhands, and finally a summary. Now there's a win-error ratio in each one of these categories, and what the win-error ratio is that it's a direct measure of their ability to hit winners and balance that against the errors that they're making. So if you hit one winner and one error, that's a win-error ratio of 1. If you have 2 errors for every winner, that's a ratio of 0.5, et cetera. You'll get onto that, but it tells you how strong they are in each category.
Check out RacketStats. RacketStats has allowed me to improve my UTR drastically. It allows me to see what shots I need to work on and what areas of my game need improvement and what part of my game is working great. Even my mom is able to do the statistics on RacketStats, and she doesn't even have much knowledge with tennis. It's easy to use and will help you improve very quick.